Hey guys, this is Nikki.
This is Sam.
Welcome back to So What? What's Next?
I spent the bag on the bundle. Turn around and take a flip and make a double. Listen, baby, with me you ain't never gotta struggle. I'm in the game 650, catch a triple double. Watch it tumble, tumble, watch it tumble. Tumbling, tumbling, tumbling. This is coming and keep on tumbling. Watch it tumble, tumble, watch it tumble. Tumbling, tumbling, tumbling. This is coming and keep on tumbling.
And we're back. Hey Samuel, how are we?
I am doing great. Lining some things up for the B-Day weekend.
Birthday alert.
A birthday alert. And awaiting your social media hiatus. Awaiting for you, the queen, to come back to the social media.
I'll be back in 5 days, 4 hours, and 22 minutes. So by the time you hear this, it'll be like 4.5 days left before I will return on social media. But it has been amazing though. My social media, hiatus has been good because I think I told you this, if I didn't even say it last week, but this is the most productive I have been in my life in about 2 years. So it's always good to, kind of purge and whatnot. But, how was your weekend and how's your week starting?
My weekend was actually great. I watched some excellent football. I got to spend a lot of time with my little bad son, who was in rare form this weekend. He was in rare
Chance
form.
is not bad, first and foremost. Your patience is thin, that's all.
I'll be the judge of that. Thank you. But he was in rare form, but he had a great time. So that was great. Football though, man. Football was crazy. Did you watch any games?
Man, I think I shared with you, that's what I like to call the prolific playoffs, right? Like
Right.
the last 2 weekends of football has been absolutely phenomenal. Like I couldn't have scripted it better myself. The writers this season for the NFL have outdid themselves totally.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let's jump into that. So my favorite game was the Rams and the Bucks, right?
Really?
So yeah, it was because I had the Rams winning. So when they jumped out to that like 19-3 lead at halftime, or was it 19-3, 19-6, something like that, I was like,
Right.
man, they got it figured out. They figured out how to neutralize Tampa Bay's offensive line. They're flustering Tom Brady. They are really taking it to him. And then I was even happy that, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth with his horrible self was on the call. So I was excited because I was like, oh, it feels like Sunday night football, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. Al Michaels then says Tom Brady has a record of like 6 comebacks for being 17 points down or more. And I was like, oh my God, he just said it. So now it's going to happen, right? What did you think
Yeah.
about that second half of that Bucks Rams game? Did you think
Man.
the Rams were going to fumble it away?
I told somebody, I said they are really testing the God. And when I said the God, I meant Tom Brady. It's like they are really testing the God. I'm like, you are not gonna keep making these mistakes and don't think he's not gonna get back in this football game. But
I know, and I felt so bad because like Cam Akers had like 2 fumbles.
yeah.
The crucial one that was like with 1:30 left in the fourth.
Oh, I made the timeline mad because I said Cam Akers is always so damn loose with the football. Everybody go, well, he used to play quarterback. So I'm like, okay, but he's a goddamn
That
pro
doesn't
now.
negate the fact that
Goddamn pro now. You did this shit at Florida State too. Hold the football, Cam. But
yeah, and
uh,
some of it is like, you can't really control some of it, right? But at the same
right,
token, it's still like, come on, I know y'all are past doing ball protection drills.
right.
I was like, the next week, Cam got to walk around with a football in his hand. Like, literally, I'm talking about everywhere. When he go to sleep, when he wake up, when he shower, when he eat breakfast, like, he got to walk
Yeah.
around with a football every day at this point.
Yeah, he's a little loose with the football. I'm actually terrified for them for the next game because I know they want to get him the football and he's gonna play against a really stout defense. But
I think it's going to affect him mentally. I truly do. He's not going to be able to move past the fumbles of Sunday to move forward to actually, play Cincinnati. So I'm sorry, to play
the
the Niners.
49ers. That's all they
see.
want. That's all they want is a couple gifts. They
That's
thrive
it.
off of that. They
That's
thrive
it.
off
You
of it.
can't
Like,
have 4 turnovers and win a game. The Rams are lucky.
I'm gonna tell you
What do you
one
think
thing.
about? Okay.
You won't turn the ball over 2 times against 49ers and win a game because they hold the football for so damn long that you only get like 7 possessions. You're only gonna get 6 or 7 possessions. So
Even with
if
Jimmy
you
Garoppolo being so trash, pretty
yep,
much the time of possession always favors the Niners.
yeah. But it was crazy, dude. People keep talking about these great players in the playoffs right now, and there's some great players, and Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen was like insane. But man, Debo Samuels, man. Oh my God.
Underrated. Underrated. I'm like, you take him off of the team, the Niners don't even make the playoffs.
Nikki, I thought he literally was gonna die on the field. I was
He
convinced. I like
was doing
Debo
everything.
Samuels. I
All
like
he had to do
Debo
was kick for
Samuels.
field goals and punt.
I said he's gonna Billy Blanks this situation and just die on the field. This is gonna be it for Debo Samuels because he literally was him and Trent Williams leaving it all on the field. I mean, Trent Williams played like 3 positions on the offensive line. Debo played like
In
5
one
positions in
game,
the whole game.
Debo was everywhere. Like literally, just give him the ball.
Yeah, it's just amazing effort by Debo Samuels. But let's what about the Buffalo KC game?
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie to you. The Bucks Rams drained me because it was a good game.
Yeah.
The Rams pulled it out. So I fell asleep around the 3rd quarter. I woke up and watched the 4th quarter, and I was like, "Oh my God, Allen's gonna pull this off in Kansas City." And only to 16, 17 seconds later, Pat Mahomes gets them in field goal range. And
13 seconds. 13 seconds, Nikki.
Like, you can't script this any better.
Right.
I was truly surprised, number one, that it came down to that. But even the OT, like, Sam, I have no dog in the fight. None of these football teams are my teams, and I'm sitting on edge, and it felt so good. Like, I have never said that I have been anxious and felt good while saying that, right?
Right.
But like, it was such a good game. I knew Kansas City was going to win once they went into overtime. Like, at that point, it's game on, right? I forgot what their record was in overtime, but it was a winning record, and I was like, yeah, they're going to close this out. But I do feel bad for Buffalo because I feel like they keep putting the right pieces together. You know, let me take it back. I feel bad for Stephon Diggs. That's who I feel bad for when I say I feel bad for Buffalo.
Why you feel bad for Stephon?
I feel like Stephon does a lot of the small things, right? Even when he was in Minnesota, I felt like he did a really good job of bringing the wide receiver core together. I feel like he's a guy that when you're in the middle of your set and you feel like giving up, he's like, no, let's bang out these last 5, right? He's the guy that gets you over the hump. He's that leader on that team, in my opinion. But I also feel that, you know, he keeps reaching for this goal. The ultimate goal is winning a Super Bowl, not just getting there, but winning it. And I feel like he always is right there on a doorstep, about to ring the doorbell, and he falls down, or the dog chases him away, or there's something that comes up that prevents him from getting to that next milestone. But I've always been a big fan of Stephon Diggs. But, you know, I feel like if you give Buffalo one more year, you know, that Super Bowl window, like we discussed before, it keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Buffalo is going to have to do something next year, or they're going to have to, you know, they're going to have to totally revamp that team.
Wow. So I guess I watched the game. I thought it was a great game. Man, it's tough, man. When you watch games like that, people was upset about the overtime situation. Talking about, well, the overtime's not fair. And I'm like, well, the overtime is fair because you had 13 seconds to actually stop them. Like, there is no rule against stopping people. Like, people act like it's just like, I was like, if you're going to just give the ball to both teams, you might as well just put Pat Mahomes on both teams. That's really what the difference was. You know?
That's basically what you're doing, right? Like, this is a total game of chance, right? This is not, you know, 8th place participation trophies, right? Yeah. This is win it. Get the ball and you score, right? Okay. The fact that you even go to overtime, let's address that, right? Because you've had 4 quarters to win it, right? You've had 4 15-minute periods to win it, and you couldn't do it then. So you go into OT, that's literally the flip of the coin. It is what it is, but you know, it sucks. Anytime your team loses that way, it sucks, especially for teams like Green Bay and Tampa Bay, because is Tom Brady coming back, number one, and then is Aaron Rodgers going to stay in Green Bay with Matt LaFleur, and is Bruce Arians going to figure out? I think Bruce Arians said something. What was the name of the quarterback? He said if Tom Brady goes, he'd bring in this quarterback, and this quarterback is trash. What's his name?
I don't know. It's probably gonna be the backup they got over there.
No, it wasn't even him. It was like they were gonna bring in another quarterback. Oh man.
So everybody dunked on Aaron Rodgers, and I told somebody I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is just bad in the playoffs, which I don't think he's bad in the playoffs. But then what's crazy is he is a great quarterback with fast wide receivers, but they play in cold weather. Like, so when they get home field advantage, it's actually a disadvantage for them to play at home. Right?
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I want to correct myself. You were right. It is Blaine Gabbert, the backup. He said he was okay with Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah,
Yep. But go back to Rodgers. Go ahead.
But yeah, and it's like they get this great record and they have to play in cold Lambeau, which actually is a disadvantage to them and his team, because now they can't play fast because now it's snowing. So
it's snowing, it's cold, the ball is hard, the ball is slippery.
Right. So the year they won the Super Bowl, they went through New Orleans, Atlanta. They went through a lot of warm states to win his first Super Bowl. But since he's been so great in the regular season, they always end up playing at home. It's always cold. They always play some defensive team, whether it's Seattle or of the 49ers, that really beats them up, or the Giants that really can play, and that's built to play in these cold weather. And I just think that maybe they need to change the way they built the team. Like, maybe they need to build a team more to be a play action. But it's hard to do that because you got Aaron Rodgers. So,
and then you got Jordan Love back there, right? Because Jordan Love is the backup, and I don't think they have confidence that he's going to be able to come in. And I'm like, imagine having to follow Aaron Rodgers. Like,
they're screwed. They're done. They're
the same thing, like, following Brett Favre, right? Like, it's kind of like, how do you do that? But I think Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and it was one other quarterback I was talking about earlier. They're all going to have new homes next year. Yeah, I strongly believe that. I think they're going to blow up everything in Seattle. I think Pete Carroll may keep his job for 1 year, 2 years. But I think they're done with Russell Wilson, and not saying that, it should continue, but I just think, they're going to be one of those other teams that have to rebuild too. But before we jump into our next topic, I wanted to kind of recap. Ask you your predictions for AFC and NFC Championship weekend and your Super Bowl prediction. Just which teams are going to make the Super Bowl, not your actual winner yet.
Okay. Well, while we're here, make sure everybody hit the subscribe button for this hot prediction I'm about to give. I got the Rams beating the 49ers. I don't really want to pick. I'm very much afraid of this pick because Shanahan is one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. If anybody knows me, I love Shanny. I think he gets the drop of everything left in that team every game. I think he schemes better than anybody, and I think he really gets the most out of his teams. Mm-hmm. But I think the Rams got too much star power, and Garoppolo got a pick six coming. He got it in him. It's gonna happen this week. He's gonna get a pick six. That's gonna end it for him. And I got the Bengals beating the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs safety play has been terrible all year, and I think they haven't played a team that has been dynamic enough on the outside yet to really take advantage of the safety play. Buffalo was dynamic with Diggs and the other kid that went off, but that's just 2 wide receivers. With the Bengals, you got 3 wide receivers and that tight end. I just think they're going to score a bunch of points. It's going to be a shootout, but I think they're going to score more points than the Chiefs, and I think they're going to beat the Chiefs. And it's going to be crazy as hell for us to look at the Cincinnati Bengals in the playoffs. That's insane. But I got Cincinnati playing the Rams, and I got the Rams. Well, I'll get to the other prediction, but yeah.
If you wanna go ahead and say the Rams winning it all, I wouldn't be mad at you.
Well, I picked the Rams to start when we did the show. I picked the Rams, but I thought they were gonna play the Chargers. But that was before I found out the Chargers.
You did because you was a big Justin Herbert fan for sure.
Yeah, but that was before I found out the Chargers hired a fucking idiot at head coach. But that's neither here nor there.
And that was before the Von Miller acquisition and the Odell Beckham acquisition as well, right?
Yeah. So
I'm with you on your predictions right now. I'm with you, hook, line, and sinker, right? Got the Rams beating the Niners. I feel like we're going to get Detroit Stafford in the first half, and then we're going to get LA Stafford in the second half. I think, last week, Joe Burrow took 9 sacks? 9 sacks, and they still won. I don't know what kind of magic or what kind of, voodoo or the woo lady over there, what they got over there, but who they is really showing up. Like Cincinnati is going to, Cincinnati's going to win. I think Patrick Mahomes is a dynamic quarterback. I don't know. I just think Cincinnati's going to have it figured out. So
it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
But I do feel like when the Bengals played them the first time, it just like they moved up and down the field on the Chiefs when the Bengals played them the first time. I'm like, I think the Bengals are better now than what they was then.
I mean, I think that they're also, getting some of that swag, right? Like they feel like, hey, why not us, right? It went from, oh God, we just want to make it here to, hey, why can't we make it to the next level? So I think we're going to see some differences here. But, I know the fans have been going crazy over, the teams right now, and tickets are selling out like crazy. I think tickets were like going for $550 for the nosebleeds at SoFi for the Rams 49ers game. So much so that I think SoFi limited the sale of tickets to California or Southern California residents only. Right? Yeah. Like if I'm coming from Northern California, I can't necessarily come to the game and they're verifying through your ID. But overall, I think what we're seeing now is a lot of these fans, man, I don't know. I wanted to ask you about this because I feel like as a fan myself, like watching good football makes me happy. Like I was excited to see all these games, right? Mm-hmm. When my team wins, I'm happy. When my team loses, I'm sad, right? I think we all kind of have that impact when we have teams. But, with this social media, people are attacking these athletes left and right. And I'm like, when is too much, right? When is it too much for a fan to go on social media and, go in on these athletes? Well, actually, we pull that back. My homegirl, Sheena Davis, shout out Sheena. She is one of the sports commentators for the Carolina Panthers. Check her out in Charlotte on Fox News. But I say that to say she brought to my attention the whole Eli Apple situation. Did you hear about that?
I seen some of it. I know they were sniping with each other, the fans, the New Orleans fans, and Eli was kind of going back and forth. I'm a big supporter of his mom, for the record. Just put that out there. She's not really that far. We really not that far age-wise. Me and Mama Apple really ain't that far away from each other. Just
really not. You can touch it. You can touch it.
Yeah,
you know where you can touch it.
She don't want to make that happen. Just saying.
I was like, I don't know if Eli Apple would be happy about that, but I will always root for you in your wishes and endeavors, friend. But Eli Apple was on Twitter, and my homegirl sent me the screenshot because, of course, I'm not on social media, and she says, Eli Apple's tweet is, I don't know which fan base I hate more, probably the Saints, but it's close with the Giants. It's a toss-up. Right? Mm-hmm. Eli Apple now plays for the Bengals now, right?
Yeah, he's for the Bengals right now.
Yeah. So, again, athletes are not above reproach, right? Eli Apple tweeted that, and he literally targeted towards Saints and Giants fans. So rightfully so, they jumped on his ass, right?
Yeah.
And attacked him and his mom. I think made his mama leave social media or deactivate her account for a minute.
I don't appreciate that.
I know they hating on y'all love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I say all that to say, Eli Apple didn't have to tweet that, right? But I also think, fans can, clap back, but then it gets to the point where wishing bodily harm on him, or physically threatening him, or whatever the case may be. What do you think what do you think about fans crossing the line? Let's start there. Should there be repercussions for people threatening or issuing, these different retaliation methods online on social media?
For, it's so for some reason in fandom, people think that they own or have rights to their players that they root for, or
Mm-hmm.
players in the NFL or whatever. Even in celebrity culture, it's like people feel like they have rights to these celebrities or rights to these players and athletes. All that's weird. Like even when I see like it is weird. Like even you see people all up on the tweets of players like, "Hey man, I love you and f you. I can't believe you left my team." It's like, dude, why you? What does that have to do with anything? Like, why you? What type of response do you want out of this player? You know what I'm saying? I think, and then you got to, and then for some reason it feels like people act like they know these athletes or celebrities
Like they know them
because,
personally,
yeah, like they
right?
know them personally off of social media. Like, I got into it with somebody. Me and you both know this person, but we was talking about Deion Sanders basically. And the way they was talking about Deion, I was just like, well, damn, let me start talking about him because apparently y'all know him better than me. I don't know him that well. You know what I'm saying? Apparently y'all know
Right.
something I don't know about him, And it's like, we don't know these people, man. I had to tell somebody the same thing about Jalen Ramsey. Like, dude, you don't know Jalen Ramsey for you to be calling him this and that. He don't want to play for your team. That
Right.
don't make him a bad person. He just don't want to play for your team no more.
Right. Right.
you know. So I've always avoided tweeting at players that I don't know and that I don't have a personal relationship with. I don't want to tweet at them, and to me that's all weird, man. It's
It
fans are all
is,
out of
right?
control.
Because even in the NBA, right? You got fans threatening to kill people's kids. You got fans throwing alcohol and popcorn at athletes, right? Like, you know, I, I will say that I was one of those people who blamed it on the pandemic, right? I'm like, okay, we're used to going to these different sporting events.
Right.
Then we shut down for like a year and a half, and almost 2 years, and now people come back to these social events, and maybe the social cues or the social etiquette is not up to par. But I was like, no, these people just aren't wrapped tight at all, right?
Right.
Like, excuse me, I can say I don't like a certain athlete, and that doesn't mean that I need to be attacked. At the
Right.
same token, it doesn't mean that you get to personally sit there and just continue to berate this person because, like you said, they left the team or they had a bad performance or whatever. I
Right.
think somebody said it on social media where they were like, imagine if somebody came to your job and had to heckle or cheer you on every day, right?
Right.
Like, imagine if you had fans that followed you around and was like, boo, you ordered
Yeah.
that coffee wrong. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's jealousy though, right? It's jealousy that you can't do what they can do, right? You don't make the money they make. You don't have the life
yep.
they have. And for some apparent reason, you feel like you heckling them makes you feel better about your day,
Or or you make it feel like you're on an even playing field, right? Like,
Right,
oh,
right.
I was able to rattle LeBron James today.
Yeah, that made me feel great that I trolled LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like even myself, I've done certain things to troll or whatever, but as far as acting coaches, I mean, what am I gonna get out of that? I mean, the coach really gonna be fired because I want to be fired? Probably not. You know. So
Yeah.
fans need to get a and then you hear weird stuff, man. Like I was arguing with somebody about Matt LaFleur or whatever, the coach. We
Yeah.
were
Green
arguing
Bay
about
coach.
We were arguing about Shanahan, and we talking about Matt LaFleur, and they were saying Matt LaFleur is no good. All those coaches that come off a Shanahan tree is terrible. And I was like, well, McVay's pretty good. Shanahan and
Yep.
McVay pretty good. They both played the Super Bowl. Oh, that ain't even good enough. But damn, playing
And
the
then you
Super
got to
Bowl.
start asking them how many Super Bowl rings you won.
Yeah, like how many times how many coaches go to Super Bowls and play a Super Bowl? Like that's pretty damn hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
it's hard.
you know,
Sometimes you got to beat one team twice in a season, sometimes 3 times, right?
injuries.
You got to come on, man. Injuries, people getting hurt, people getting suspended. Oh, by the way, FYI, I think Antonio Brown is doing his interview with Brian Gumbel right now on Real Sports with HBO.
Yeah, I saw a little
think he's
clip
doing
of
it
it
right
on.
now.
I saw a clip of it on Twitter. It's gonna be good. You know what I think, Nikki? I think Antonio Brown's telling the truth, and I think he's crazy. I think both things are true.
Both things are not mutually exclusive. But Antonio Brown says a lot, but for some reason, this one I believe.
I do. I believe him.
This one I believe. The other stuff is kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Dion, you got him back on track. Okay, Tom Brady, you got him back on track. I get it. But now at this point, this one, I'm like, yeah, man. I don't know. I don't think he's lying about this one.
I don't think he lied. I think he telling the truth.
But yeah, I think we'll cover that one next week. But I see these things that these fans are doing, the things that these fans are saying, and I'm just like, yo, it's gonna get to the point where they're gonna have to screen people before they go to these sporting events now, right? Like, not just the, do you have any weapons on you, but actually, check to see if people have warrants, check to see if people have any, reasons, if how they issued any threats against people, checking criminal backgrounds, because at this point, it's getting really, really bad. Almost as bad as the Metaverse.
People need to watch the sporting event, tweet or post whatever you want about the sporting event. If you think the player sucks, talk about how the player sucks. But you tweeting or posting, atting the player or getting up on anything, mentions and tell them how you feel, that's not going to make them any better.
Nope. Nope. None. That helps nobody.
That's like I tell you about
nobody.
Like tweeting at kids to come to your school. Probably not.
Why are you tweeting at teenagers?
Yeah, like that's
why is a teenager getting you that worked up?
Yeah, would you go post under some 17-year-old at your local high school? No, because that would be weird.
No. And that's the thing. I think, people like to say, well, I got freedom of speech. I can say what I want. I can do what I want. I got my own social media. You can't control it. And you know what? You're right. You have freedom of speech, but freedom of speech is not free, right? It's not free of consequences. It's not free of retaliation. And it's not free of you being held accountable, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking when you do see these things. And I think that's one of the biggest things that has helped me during this hiatus is kind of not seeing the negativity or not being able to directly, read these different things. I've been actually able to enjoy football for what it's worth because I'm not getting the social media feedback or the negative feedback that's happening around these sports teams. But yeah, man, I think as we continue to see more and more sporting events, we're going to see more and more wild behavior. And at some point, there's going to have to be some type of regulation. There's going to have to be some point of responsibility that we're going to have in reference to what's going on with these people going out of control. And, even in soccer, right? Even in European football, people are fighting in the stands, or they're running out on the field naked, or they're doing all these other things. So it's not just restricted here to the United States. It's happening all over. But I'm hoping that in some shape, form, or fashion, people, number one, either get therapy, the medication they need, or some other type of release where they don't have to take it out on these other athletes, because it's getting really, really scary.
Yeah,
but speaking of scary, right? I was saying that it's almost like being in the metaverse. We got a lot of good feedback from our episode last week where we touched on the metaverse and some of the capabilities and some of the advancements that's happening in this virtual reality world. Have you had a chance to explore the metaverse yet, Sam? That was your
not yet. I haven't had a chance to explore, but my very informed friend sent me a podcast episode to listen to about the metaverse. And I found this stuff so fascinating. When they got there and breaking it down, I realized, I said, you know what? We are already pretty much in the metaverse. So we've been in the metaverse. We've been in the metaverse. So when they talked about the concert that Travis Scott had I think that was like a
Mm-hmm.
test version with the Travis Scott concert to see how many kids would come and who would all show up to it and the age groups and everything.
Yep.
So I was like, man, yeah, this is real. This is gonna happen. I need to find a way to get a part of it. Find a way. Can I monetize a little bit in there? You know what I'm saying? Can I
Yeah.
monetize in the metaverse?
That's
Because
what I want. I want you to definitely get into the metaverse because Sam, it's a whole different world. People are buying imaginary property next to celebrities. Like the guy that paid, was it 1.2 million or 2.2 million or something like that, to buy the house next to Snoop Dogg in the
yeah,
metaverse. It's not even a real house,
right.
right? But he paid millions of dollars for this fictional house next to Snoop Dogg that he's probably going to rent out to other people to host parties, to be in close proximity. Like this is not even real property we're talking about here, right?
But you know what they always said, and I'll listen to this was a while back in Clubhouse, and I'll listen to people explain cryptocurrency and things like that. They was like, people give stuff value.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like a T-shirt ain't worth anything. It's just a T-shirt. But if Nikki
Until you put a Nike, until you put a Nike check on it.
until Nikki tell me that's the hottest shirt in the market, I'm like, man, I gotta have that shirt. Nikki said that shirt is hot. I got to have it.
Right.
Then Nikki be like, well, I'm gonna charge you $1,000 for this shirt. Oh, I know it's hot if it costs $1,000, right?
And you know what you're explaining right now? You're explaining NFTs. You're literally
Right.
explaining NFTs right now.
That's exactly what NFTs are. So
Yes.
it's crazy, man. It is crazy. And I think James Coleman, we was talking about a little bit of it. Me and him and Fred was talking about it. And they was like, yeah, man, NFT is gonna be a big part of the metaverse. The cryptocurrency is gonna be a big part of the metaverse, right? Because it's an easier place to exchange and talk. You're
Yep.
talking to people that's in the same neighborhood. So it's real. It's real, and I can't discount it. You know.
So can I get your commitment that you will try to
Purchase an Oculus and come hang out in the metaverse.
yes. By the time we record in 2 weeks, that'll be what, mid-February? So
Mhm.
before Valentine's Day, will you be a member of the metaverse?
Yes.
Yes.
I will go
Jinx.
purchase an Oculus and come hang out in the metaverse. I
Okay.
will do it. I will do it. I get
Okay.
February.
Okay.
February. I'll have it done in February.
February, it's on. It's on. Yeah. I was listening to the New York Times. I was listening to the episode of the Daily. That's the one I shared with you, Sam.
Right.
And it's basically saying what is the metaverse and why is Microsoft going all in on it, right?
Right.
And it, like you said, it highlighted so many things about what we already knew and the things that we didn't know, right? And where does this lead us in society? And honestly, we're already there, right? It's not like
Right.
when is it going to happen? We're in it right now.
Right.
We've been in, I think he called it what is the pseudo metaverse, where social media has basically been predicting and taking us on this whirlwind of rides and different ups and downs, in a quote unquote fictional world that appears to be real or true. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm excited to see what this looks like. I have a friend that's in crypto and he has 2 of his own startups. And he's been preaching about NFTs now for I want to say 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
Shout out to One Bandwagon Fan. Follow them on Twitter. But man, when I tell you he's all in on it, he's the one who pretty much got me interested in even looking into it.
So you already bought your
So
Oculus already. You got your Oculus already.
so
You
I
ready.
was using my godson's, but
Uh-huh.
now mine is on the way. My
Okay.
personal one is on the way. So I am excited to kind of do a deeper dive, and see what's out there because it's 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 the next best thing. So it's better to go ahead and jump on it now than to be a late adopter and try to figure it out later. Because before you know it, Chance gonna walk in saying, metaverse, and you're gonna be like, how do you know about the metaverse?
I know, right? But
I
since
know.
the fact that he got the Fortnite using the Fortnite to do it is just like it makes so much sense now. Once they talked about how Fortnite has had a big hand in developing this and the ideas and the test study for it, so it all makes sense because people are freaking crazy over Fortnite, and it ain't just kids; it's grown-ups play
Yeah.
Fortnite all day, all night. So, and we had a little mailbag, right? Did we have a little mailbag today?
We got a so what? What's next mailbag? You want to close the show with this?
Yeah,
We
let's
could do
close the
that.
show with it. What we got?
Okay. Okay, so I am not going to use real names to protect the innocent. But was able to get into the throes of this situation, let's call it. And they're sharing that, as they are re-entering the dating world after, kind of spending some time and healing and getting back to themselves, they are now exploring, dating here in Atlanta. And upon doing so, the dates that they've been on, the first date, literally the bill was $40
Oh,
total.
okay. Really?
Bill was $40
In Atlanta?
in Atlanta. In Atlanta.
They must have ate
And
at
the
somebody's
guy
house.
asked, hey, $40 for two people? That's good right there. I'm
Shit, I don't
assuming,
even know. Can you do that at Chili's?
okay, so my assumption is chicken and fries. My assumption
Okay.
is they got some chicken and fries, maybe got a drink or two. And
You couldn't have got
that's
a drink on
$40.
$40. You could have got a drink
It
and chicken
depends
and
on where you
fries.
go. Depends on where you
Unless
go.
you split the chicken and the fries. If you split the chicken and fries and get 2 drinks.
We getting too in the weeds. So
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So for $40, the guy actually asked her, like, hey, are you okay with splitting this? And she was like, 40, you want to split 20? You asked me for $20?
Right.
For a date you invited me to. Another situation was this person went out for a date. They met on the dating app. I forgot which one it was. It might have been Hinge, if I'm not mistaken, but they met on a dating app. And they get together and she's waiting for him to show up, and he shows up and she doesn't recognize him because he was catfishing.
Got him old catfishing, huh?
Got him catfishing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
So the ultimate question is, what am I doing wrong? Right?
What is she doing wrong?
Mm-hmm. That's what she's asking. What am I doing wrong?
I'm gonna, as an experienced dating app person. I have been on dating apps. I have dated off dating apps.
I don't even know that life.
I've done it. This is very important on dating apps, right? You cannot actually set up a date. You need like a pre-date situation before you hang out with this person.
And when you say pre-date, kind of give the audience some examples of what a pre-date is.
You need like some FaceTime situation, right? You need a FaceTime. You need to see their environment a little bit, because if a person really wants to date you and be around you, they won't mind FaceTime, right? They're not gonna mind FaceTime. They look how they look, So you need to set up some type of FaceTime situation. Also in the pre-date stage, something I used to do that helped me out was I always chose to do things that I wanted to do. And I'll always choose to do things on the whim, right? So if I find out your work schedule, so if I say, hey, what days you work? You be like, oh, I'm working Monday through Friday. I get off at 4, right? On like Wednesday, I'll be like, hey, are you busy today? 'Cause I want to hit this happy hour spot real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that way I ain't gotta worry about you trying to, I just I'm catching you off the whim. I ain't got you trying to set up a bunch of bullshit.
You can't really plan, right? You can't really manipulate and whatnot because everything is literally spontaneous.
Right. Now, the man not paying for the date situation, that is a huge red flag. She actually should be happy about that because that only cost her $20 not to talk to him no more. So that's actually, she won in that situation.
Yeah, because my suggestion would be $20. As soon as you get in the car, please block him on every possible way that you guys could interact. Text, email, FaceTime, social media accounts, Cash App, like block them all the way out of your life, girl.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you got to split $20, $40 bills, I mean, we know what
that's only going to lead to bigger things, right?
Yeah. And you'll be moving them in next week. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, because he might be homeless.
Yeah, probably homeless.
Because that does happen. Yeah. But no, so listener, if you're there, Sam gave some a couple of good suggestions. I think he and I both agree on blocking and moving on. And it's not necessarily saying that you're doing anything wrong, right? It just so happens that you just happen to have a few bad dates.
And you
And
know
it
what?
happens.
That's
Everybody's
something.
resume is not A pluses though, right?
But you know something though, people have to stop eternalizing other people's faults, right? Just because somebody's a shitty person, that don't mean it's something wrong with you. There's nothing
Right.
wrong with you because that person's a shitty person. That person's just a shitty person that you don't need to talk to anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
don't
it.
waste your time. Don't waste your time. Like, I always tell. I've been on dates and stuff with girls, and I always kind of be like, I can't make these 100% commitments after 1 or 2 dates. I need some time, And some women be like, well, I feel like you're playing games. I'm like, okay, well, you cannot talk to me anymore. And that's fine, right? Nobody's hurt. Nobody's hurt
Not
by
you
that.
putting them on punishment.
No, it ain't even a punishment thing. It's like, hey, we ain't got to talk no more because I don't want you to feel like I'm gonna hurt you in the end if I decide I don't
Yeah.
want to be with you. Because like now you're giving me all this baggage and stuff. All this burden I gotta carry, and I've just met you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Yeah.
and I try to tell people that. And then if you want somebody to fully invest in you after 1 date or 2 dates, I mean, I don't know what to tell people.
Yeah. I think, ultimately we've heard on multiple occasions that you're only as faithful as your options, right? Like it's
True.
hard to commit to someone after 1 or 2 dates because I don't even know you. I might have just learned where you grew up, your favorite aunt, and maybe your favorite color, right? In
Right.
1 or 2 dates. But needless to say, you said it comes back to self-esteem, right? You don't have to internalize these things because of what happened in a few experiences. I think at this point, I would also say date yourself, right? If you've had a couple of bad dating experiences with the opposite sex, go ahead and take yourself out, right? Show
True.
yourself a good time, how you want to be treated. Because moving forward, this is going to be the standard you set for yourself as you continue dating, especially here in Atlanta. So,
Oh,
um,
another good pre-date is movies and bowling, because if you had a movie with somebody you
I
don't
consider
like,
those actual dates, though. Like
see
my
see I
my
think if you
example
go
of a
to,
pre-date. Go ahead.
well, see, my thing about a movie is if I'm going to go see a movie I want to see anyway, now if I don't like you, I ain't gotta even talk to you. I could just sit there and watch the movie. And then bowling, I could just sit there and bowl, and I ain't gotta even worry about, to me, when you get into that dating phase, that's kind of like, I'm gonna get dinner. We're gonna do an activity. We're gonna come back to the house. We're gonna relax. We're gonna be hanging around each other. That's dating to me. But if I'm just doing something I want to do anyway, hey, meet me at L House. I don't mind. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So my predates, like even back when I was out here, when I was
Uh huh.
outside,
Yeah.
um, I would do coffee dates.
Coffee dates are good.
Because coffee dates are perfect, right? Because it's literally going to be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, where it's kind of like, oh, let me get a good feel for you, get a good vibe. And if I get a good vibe, then I can continue moving on, matriculating through this process of dating, right? If
Hmm.
I meet you in those 30 minutes to an hour, number one, if you don't drink coffee, that's a red flag for me.
Yeah. Who
And
doesn't? What
in
adult
my
doesn't do that?
opinion,
What
in
adult
my
doesn't do that?
metaverse, look,
Exactly.
Sam, in my metaverse, if you don't drink coffee, that's a red flag. But that's one of my favorite predates. Another predate is meeting at Centennial Park. I don't know if you guys have been to Centennial Park here in Atlanta, but it is
I've
absolutely
heard things
gorgeous.
about that park. I heard it's nice.
Yeah, Olympic Centennial Park is really, really nice. And it's good walking, so you can get some good exercise. You're outside, fresh air. And you can meet someone and have, some good conversations and understand, hey, is this someone you could, hang out with again? But yeah, predates are always a good thing. I think that's a good recommendation as well. So I think our summation is predates, date yourself, and don't internalize things, right? Make sure you date
Yeah.
yourself so your self-esteem can be up there to know what you want to tolerate and what you don't.
Yeah. And
So
don't.
listener, let us know how things are going, and if things improve, because we'd love to hear from you. Um,
Absolutely.
yep. And on that note, Sam, anything else before we get out of here?
No, this is another great episode. You've got me committed to hanging out in the metaverse with you and homies. So it's gonna be great. I'm ready. I'm metaverse. I'll get myself metaverse prepared next month.
Not metaverse prepared.
I hope I ain't
You
gotta
made
buy
me
no
feel like
Jordans. I gotta buy Jordans in the
look,
metaverse. Y'all gonna be talking
you
about me if I'm in
can.
there
You
with
can
some
buy you can
bubbles.
buy you can buy real shoes in the metaverse.
I'm saying though, y'all ain't gonna be in there talking about me if I
Mhm.
got my just regular avatar shoes on, just hanging out.
You
Y'all
know,
gonna be
I'm gonna
like,
wear some
okay.
kids. I'm gonna wear the ones that don't even have a label. They just like blue rectangles. Man, hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in to What's Next, where we talk about topics that matter today that you won't care about tomorrow. And we're